Cooper's career was ended due to injury. Arch Manning's career is going to be ended due to being shitty. Or should I say Pitt, bitch? Y'all ain't doing nothing. Pitt's been irrelevant since Kenny Pickett left in 2021. Yeah! Well, you want to know what Clemson is? Not shit. I am over Colorado's shit. Over. One of the biggest things as a fan base that we always say, you don't lose to Vanderbilt. As they fucking should be, dead last, because you fucking suck and you're dog shit. Okay?
The following is a presentation of ESPN on ABC.
Bristol Motor Speedway, the world's fastest half mile tonight, becomes the world's largest college football stadium. The Vol Walk is a sea of orange. Tennessee a little loose in the turns in the opener, hoping to show some championship horsepower tonight. While Virginia Tech is under a new regime, and we'll find out just what the Hokies have under the hood. Tennessee, Virginia Tech in the battle at Bristol. Welcome to the Pilot Flying J battle at Bristol. Presented on ABC by Wells Fargo. Bristol Motor Speedway tonight will host more than 150,000 people, the largest crowd ever to see a college football game as Virginia Tech, 1-0 out of the ACC, takes on 17th ranked Tennessee, also 1-0 from the SEC. Reese Davis and Kirk Herbstreit here. Chris Fowler working the U.S. Open tonight. Kirk, Tennessee comes in here after dropping 8 spots in the AP poll, second largest drop for a team coming off a win, and it's because they weren't impressive. And the question about the Vols, how do they handle a big stage? This is a big stage.
First of all, welcome aboard, my man.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Tennessee got off to a slow start to the season. I think it had as much to do with their attitude. I don't think they showed up mentally really respecting Appalachian State. I think you're going to see a whole different team tonight led by their quarterback, Josh Dobbs. This is a team that last year went 9-4. They returned 17 starters. That offense looked great the last 7 weeks, and it was because of Dobbs' ability to run and throw. I think you'll see him more involved tonight in the running game, maybe up to 10 to 12 carries tonight for him. I think he's got weapons around him. Jalen Hurd, one of the best backs in the SEC. Josh Malone, a guy who can get downfield vertically. And Virginia Tech and Bud Foster will attack this Tennessee offense. I think they have the ball's attention, and I think you're going to see a whole different team than what you saw last week.
A Bud Foster lunch pail defense, we're familiar with that. Virginia Tech on offense is going to look completely different now under new head coach Justin Fuente.
Well, Justin Fuente is a great offensive mind. It's probably why he got the job. You go back to his years at Memphis as a head coach. Before that, offensive coordinator for Gary Patterson at TCU. Remember, Andy Dalton played for him. His system is very familiar with college football fans because he spreads the field out, and he loves to attack downfield with wide receivers. And he's got some experience with Isaiah Ford. The thing tonight we're going to find out, does he have the quarterback? Gerard Evans comes from the junior college ranks. Honestly, this is his first real feel of big-time college football. How will he respond to adversity? He's got the tools, but can he deal with the adversity in a Vols defense that's determined to make him prove that he can move the ball against an SEC defense?
You know, Gerard telling us yesterday, he's an emotional guy. Sometimes it takes him a little bit to settle down into a game, and there's going to be plenty of energy at this event tonight. The battle at Bristol, these two schools really aren't that far apart, despite the fact that they don't play that often. If you're not familiar with where Bristol is, it sits right on the Tennessee and Virginia state line, almost equidistant, Bristol Motor Speedway, from Blacksburg to Knoxville. Now, they had a NASCAR race here less than 3 weeks ago, and it took 19 days for the transition. They had to bring in truckloads of gravel to raise the infield and then roll out the AstroTurf 3D, by the way. How big is this place? You could fit the big house from Michigan inside it, or if you prefer baseball, maybe you want to see a doubleheader. You could see Fenway Park on the left and Wrigley Field on the right. That's how huge this place is tonight. It is built for racing, and if we're built for racing, we need pit reporters like Dr. Jerry Punch.
Hey, thank you very much, Reese. Hello, everyone. Folks, think about it. Just over 3 weeks ago, where I'm standing was an asphalt parking lot filled with stock cars and semi-tractor trailers. But within 7 hours of waving a checkered flag, the dump trucks began to roll. 450 trucks filled with gravel raised this area about 3.5 feet. Then they put a layer of sand on top with heavy equipment to level it. Then they rolled out this high-tech rubber mat called Nike Grind, made up of ground-up football cleats. How cool. And then on top of that, 101,000 square feet of turf with every 5 yards having to be hand-stitched together. Then they covered it all with 360,000 pounds of sand and composite. Now, normally it would take 25 days for that project to be completed. These folks here did it in 10 days. So how about that? A record-setting construction project paving the way for a record-setting crowd. Speaking of crowds, my man Marty Smith hanging out with people who are wearing different shades of orange.
Doc, thank you. Good evening. For 20 years, I've made fun of Jimmy Johnson and Dale Earnhardt Jr. for showing up to work in glorified onesie adult pajamas. Now look at us. Welcome to an event 20 years in the making. Back in the mid-90s, former Bristol Motor Speedway general manager Jeff Bird had an idea. Tennessee Volunteers, Virginia Tech Hokies, Bristol Motor Speedway, because as Reese mentions, this track is basically a center point between the two campuses. But some politics got in the way. Some of the folks down at Tennessee didn't like the idea that the most watched game in Tennessee history wouldn't take place at Neyland Stadium. Ultimately, common sense prevailed because of the success of events like the Carrier Classic in college basketball and the Winter Classic in hockey. So here we are. We have Hokies. We have Vols. Gentlemen, start your engines.
Marty, I believe that the ladies have already started their engines just behind you, and it reminded me that they did buy 545,000 beers to sell at this event.
Did they?
Tonight, yeah.
I think I know where 20 of them went.
You look at the battle at Bristol by the numbers, 236 miles between these two, and these two teams getting set to clash here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats, and veterans render a hand salute as Grammy Award-winning singer-songwriter Jennifer Nettles honors America with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
What a way to get things started. Battle at Bristol, not too far away. Tennessee and Virginia Tech on Saturday Night Football.
To football fans, Bristol Motor Speedway is going to be something totally new. But for us racers, it also feels kind of familiar. 150,000 plus, packed to the sky. Ears ringing, helmets flying, hard contact, even officials throwing flags. For 55 years, from the king to the kid, racers have filled these hills with cheers and boos. My daddy filled them with both. Tonight, they will be filled with orange and maroon, Vols and Hokies, a town and a track divided between two states. Yeah, they've moved some stuff around for the game, but it's still Bristol. All this green can only mean one thing. Go. Welcome to the battle at Bristol.
Let's take a look at On the Road to Bristol, brought to you by Pilot Flying J. They call this place the last great Coliseum, and it feels that way for sure. Rising up in the Smokies here, the lights around as darkness is falling here in the foothills of the Appalachians on a perfect night for football. Temperature sitting at 84. The slightest wind to speak of. The forecast is partly cloudy. We've seen some weather delays across the country, but that does not appear to be an issue for us here on the Tennessee-Virginia state line tonight in Bristol, Tennessee. A Big Ten officiating crew is going to work this game tonight, led by referee Daniel Capron, and there are dignitaries from both Tennessee and Virginia Tech here. As Marty Smith told you earlier, this has been 20 years in the making, a vision that has now become reality for these two schools. This virtually the midway point between the two of them. And you see Peyton Manning over there as you have a look at Justin Fuente. Saw Bruce Smith from Virginia Tech out at midfield. Hokies wearing those Hokie Stone uniforms. That is the dominant stone on the Virginia Tech campus. Tennessee in their customary orange and white. And I mean, these guys are ready to go. Volunteers walking their way out. Fuente's pretty even-keeled, isn't he? Ready to get this thing started. Let's go down to the field.
Gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce to you tonight Mr. Bruton Smith. He's the chairman of the Bristol Motor Speedway, and he's going to flip the coin for us. Virginia Tech, you're the visiting team. We have a ceremonial coin which is marked with the heads and with the tails. Mr. Smith's going to flip that coin in the air. We're going to allow it to hit the ground. What is your call? Tails. Tails is called. Mr. Smith, would you do us the honors? Flip it up. It is heads. Tennessee, you've won the toss. What do you want to do? Defer. You want to defer. Tennessee has won the toss and elected to defer their choice to the second half. Virginia Tech, you want the ball. Which goal do you want to defend?
We'll kick this way.
Kick this way. Please put your backs over here. Virginia Tech, backs over here. Virginia Tech will receive to start the game.
This is an atmosphere unlike any that any of these players have ever been in, and certainly, I mean, the entrance at Virginia Tech enters Sandman running through the tee in front of 100,000 at Neyland Stadium. Great moments, but this is unique. This is different for all of them.
For Justin Fuente, he's trying to get his team ready to go, obviously. New era beginning. These players are fired up, and you wondered why Tennessee was flat against Appalachian State, because they were looking at this night. That will not be an issue for Butch Jones and the Vols tonight.
There's Joshua Dobbs, the veteran quarterback for the Volunteers. A lot on him to improve his passing. And here comes the Big Orange. As they say around here, it's football time in Tennessee. When things are going well for the Big Orange, you hear that unofficial anthem over and over. And now the Hokies are coming to meet them. The Chicago Maroon and burnt orange in the stands. The Hokie Stone uniforms. Virginia Tech and Tennessee about ready to go. Samantha Ponder with us tonight as always. She's with Butch Jones.
Coach, your quarterback said last week the team just lacked intensity. I imagine that's difficult to do tonight, but how would you describe the way your offensive line and quarterback got better during practice this week?
Well, we had a great week of preparation. It's relying on your habits that you establish throughout the course of the week and in your football program, and we've done it before. And again, we've had a very productive week. Now we have to make it count tonight.
Coach, we talked about the difficulties this environment presents in terms of depth perception, but also the two lights in these corners over here. How would you characterize your concern with some of the variables here?
Well, we have to focus. That's uncontrollable factors. The biggest thing is going to be communication with the crowd noise.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thank you.
Sam, Butch, thank you very much. And here is the new head coach of the Hokies, Justin Fuente. And Kirk, hey, look, his record is just okay. But you have to understand, when he took over at Memphis, they had won 5 games in 3 years. 19-6 his last 2 seasons, and he's 1-0 here at Virginia Tech.
That's a great point, and very deserving of this opportunity. And I think if you look at kind of what he represents, the type of coach that he is, how he grew up as a young coach with Gary Patterson, it's similar. He brings a blue-collar approach to Blacksburg, which fits with Bud Foster and kind of the traditional outlook of Hokie football over the years with Frank Beamer.
As you heard at the coin toss, Tennessee's going to kick it off. Aaron Medley will get us started. Greg Stroman's deep, underway from Bristol Motor Speedway. Stroman's got it in the corner. Orange everywhere, and he can't even get started. And Tennessee has him knocked down right at the 10-yard line. Interception in the Appalachian State game. Moving the pocket for Evans, going to take a shot. He's got 4th down there, and Ford has it knocked away. If the ball had been out front, he might have scored, and Sutton was able to break it up at the last second.
Go over, get confirmation, and adjust the play.
Trouble with the snap. Evans corrals it, and this is where it bears mentioning that Virginia Tech lost 4 fumbles. Muscular cat, he's got the range. See if he can put it through this time, and it is leaking a bit to the outside, and it is no good. And Tennessee turns away Virginia Tech. Hokies have a good opening drive, but no points to show for it.
You know they're determined to have a better game tonight.
Got to get it just across the 40. And he won't. Kenny Canham is there to sack Dobbs, and the Hokie defense forces a 3 and out. Hokies have come out and been the aggressor in the first few minutes. Evans into the flat. There's Rogers lowering the shoulder on the pylon. Touchdown, Hokies. Second down and 2. McMillan bounces to the outside, running room for Trayvon McMillan. He's in Tennessee territory. McMillan is still on his feet. He'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. As the Hokies have it to start the second and quarter, 2nd and 25. They put the ball on the ground. This is a break Tennessee needs if they can get it, and they do. It's the second time that Virginia Tech has had trouble handling it tonight, and Tennessee needed a break. And another fumble gives them one. The Hokies lost 4 fumbles in their opener against Liberty. Like Abernathy that got the ball, and now Dobbs throwing to the end zone, goes up top, it's a touchdown. Jawan Jennings outfights Greg Stroman for it, and the Vols are on the board. To the ground, Tennessee greets McMillan in the backfield, and he won't make it to the first down.
Now that was impressive from Tennessee on the get-off.
Level, and Tennessee needed to make a change. Quarterback draw. Dobbs bounces off one tackler, has a first down. Dobbs still on his feet, tiptoeing along the sideline into Hokie territory before he's finally shoved out by Chuck Clark. See quarterbacks last year with 671 yards. There's a little movement from Jason Kroom. Got away with it. Dobbs going up top, looking for a man out there. Does he have it? He does. Josh Malone beats Stroman, and Tennessee goes 90 yards in a heartbeat, and they're 1 point away from tying it. To attempt a field goal, it's a 34-yarder, and he's been terrific from inside the 40 in his career. 37 of 41, and this to give Tennessee the lead. A rocky start for Rocky Top, but now the Vols are back on top. 17-14 late in the second.
Between the tackles and in that boxed area.
Hurd running through tackles, first down and more. Jalen Hurd upended, but not until he gets down close to the red zone.
Dropped 30 pounds to get ready for this year. A lot quicker, you just saw it right there.
Inside a minute to go, Tennessee is yet to convert a third down.
That's a fade at the bottom.
Quarterback draw instead. Dobbs 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as they say in Tennessee, give him 6.
Now these two coaches and their staffs will have a chance to go back to the drawing board and see what they learned and see what kind of adjustments they're going to try to make. Because this game is still a long way to go.
And Tennessee going to get it first in the second half. All the momentum on their side, 24-14. That's the end of the first half here in Bristol. BMW halftime report coming up. Samantha Ponder will speak. Falling behind by 10. Gerard Evans running the option. McMillan has the pitch. McMillan picking his way. He has the first down, but the ball's on the deck, and it looks as if Tennessee has it. The 6th fumble that Virginia Tech has lost this season. They only lost 7 all of last year, and Corey Vereen making a play and a costly turnover. More pressure. Dobbs gets rid of it, and it's almost intercepted just off the fingertips of Chuck Clark.
A good job of kind of sinking in coverage by 19 Chuck Clark.
Aaron Medley's made a 34-yarder tonight. Tried to push the Tennessee lead to 13 from 47 yards out. Kick is on the way, and it is no good. And after the turnover, Fuente's team rises up and gets a stop. Excellent defense by. Pressure on Dobbs. Spins away from it. Dumps it in the flat. First down and more for Kamara. Touchdown, Tennessee. On 3rd and 14, Dobbs escapes some pressure. Trevon Hill had him for just a moment, spun out of his grasp. Get this back to a 2-possession game. 26-yard field goal attempt is true, and Virginia Tech stops a run of 31 straight Tennessee points. 14-point lead for the Vols. Hurt last year, Evans. Oh, that's a nifty grab by Phillips. That was a tough catch, and then he didn't hold it. After making the catch, he fumbled it again. Kendall Vickers stripped it away, and it's a turnover, and Tennessee's made a play on defense. Hasn't had a lot of return opportunities tonight. They'd have one good special teams play, and he came up, and I think he muffed the punt. Now, did Tennessee get it before it went out of bounds? It was a dangerous play by Stroman going up to try to field it in traffic. To take possession of the ball, Tennessee had to secure it before it went out of bounds, and they did. Another miscue and turnover for Virginia Tech.
Continue to not be challenged, but look very, very good.
Dobbs pulled it inside the 20. Joshua Dobbs on his way. Touchdown, Tennessee.
You know, Pitt gets the street cred. Team of the week.
Another football on the ground for Tennessee, and this time it's Shy Tuttle who beats everybody to the ball. Another fumble. Another addition for a good hands play, and Fuente, at this point, I'm not sure what you do. John Kelly, young back, they're very high on, and they take the checkered. They might have to run some laps for 6.5 minutes, but this baby's in the books as Tennessee has roared away.
Fair share games.
McKenzie goes into the end zone. Virginia Tech scores a touchdown for the first time since the first quarter. You know, the fumbles, look forward to getting there for sure. It's been a great trip to Bristol as well. Started off much better than it finished for Justin Fuente, and Tennessee roars away with a 45-24 win as the final seconds tick off here in front of the largest crowd ever to see a college football game.